everyone, in this session we are going to discuss about some of the common terms which we use in motion in one dimension. In my previous video, I have discussed two of the common terms, that is distance travelled and displacement. So once again I will just try to recall what is distance travelled and displacement. So the actual distance travelled by a body is called distance travelled, and the distance travelled, it does not specify any direction, so it is a scalar quantity. On the other hand, displacement is the shortest or the least distance between final position and initial position, and whenever you talk of displacement you are specifying the direction also, and hence the displacement is a vector quantity. Now suppose if you take straight line motion, then what happens? These are the 2 points A and B. A body is travelling from point A to point B, then the distance travelled and displacement will be equal. Once the body reaches B, then what happens? The body covers some distance. At the same time, after reaching B, the body will have some displacement. So if it is a linear motion, then distance travelled will be just equal to displacement. But if you take circular motion, let us consider a body going in a circle. This is the center of the circle and this is the body. This body is going round and round. In this case, what happens? Let us take, this is the initial position of the body, I call it as A. Now, after one round or after completing one revolution, then where the body comes to, the body again comes back to the same position. So, let A be the initial position. Now, after completing one round, again the body is coming back to the same point, and I will call this as B. B will be the final position. Now you can observe that A and B are at the same place. Means the initial position and final position of the body remains the same. Now here you can just think over what will be the distance travelled by the body and what will be the displacement. The distance travelled by the body will be equal to the circumference of the circle. Now we know that the circumference of the circle is given by the expression 2 pi r, where pi is a constant and r is the radius of the circle. So what is the total distance travelled by the body? The distance travelled by the body can be calculated if you know the radius of the circle. So this is nothing but the formula for calculating the circumference. So the distance travelled will be equal to the circumference of the circle. Now just think what will be the displacement of the body. Now here if you take, after completing one round, the initial position and final position are same, and hence what is the least distance between initial and final position? The distance, the difference is 0, and hence displacement will be equal to 0. So this one point you have to remember. So if you take linear motion, then the distance travelled will be equal to displacement. Sometimes displacement can be equal to distance, displacement can be less than the distance, but displacement will never be more than the distance travelled. If you take circular motion, then the distance travelled is different and displacement after one round will be equal to 0. Now one more example I will give you. Suppose, let us consider a man. He is walking. Let us consider the directionals also, cardinal directions. This is north, south, east, west. Now, suppose this man started walking initially in this direction. Let us take that he has walked for nearly 3 kilometers. Now, in which direction he is walking? You can just make out that he is walking towards east. So this is the direction in which he is walking. Now after reaching this point, let A be the starting point of the man when he reaches B, then he will change his direction. He will turn towards his left and he will walk 4 kilometers. Now what is this direction? This direction is north. So first he is traveling towards east, then he travels towards north and comes to this position C. Now what is his initial position? Initial position is A. Final position is C. Initial position is A and final position is C. Now what is the distance travelled by the man? The distance travelled by the man, you can just tell that it is 3 plus 4, 7 kilometers. Distance travelled will be equal to 3 plus 4, that is equal to 7 kilometers. Now, what will be the displacement of the man? So, to calculate the displacement of the man, according to the definition of the displacement, it is the shortest distance between the final position and the initial position. C is the final position and A is the initial position. So this will be the shortest distance between these two positions. Now what is the displacement here? Now to calculate the displacement, you have to use Pythagoras theorem. Now if you use Pythagoras theorem, then what happens? Square on the hypotenuse will be equal to square on the other two sides of the right angle triangle. Now, so if you take AC square on the hypotenuse will be equal to, what is AB square? It is 3 square plus, and this one BC square is 4 square. Now how much it will be equal to? 9 plus 16, that is equal to 25. AC square is equal to 25. This implies AC will be equal to 5 kilometers. Now just see that what is the displacement of the man? The displacement of the man will be equal to 5 kilometers, whereas the distance travelled is 7 kilometers. So these are some of the cases you have to remember in case of displacement. If you take circular motion, then after one round, what will be the distance travelled? It can be calculated by using the circumference of the circle. And if you consider this example, then the distance travelled is 7 kilometers, whereas the displacement will be equal to 5 kilometers. So, in my previous video, already I have told you that displacement is a vector quantity. Now, you can just tell in which direction the man is when he has reached the final position. So, the man will be towards, if you consider the direction, then he will be in the direction of northeast according to this cardinal direction. So, remember, displacement is a vector quantity and the SI units will remain the same, that is meters. Next common term we shall discuss now, that is speed. So next term which we are using in motion in one dimension is speed. Already we have discussed distance and displacement. Next is speed. Now how you can define speed? Speed can be defined as the distance travelled by a body in unit time. So this definition already we have learned in our lower classes. Distance travelled by a body in unit time is called speed. Now speed is equal to, mathematically how I can write, distance travelled by time taken. So this is the formula for speed. Now what will be the units here? The units will be, SI units will be, again use the formula, distance can be measured in meters, time is measured in second. So the SI units will be meter per second. You can write it like this or you can write like this also, ms to the power minus 1. Both mean the same. SI unit is meter per second. Now just concentrate on the definition. Speed is nothing but the distance travelled. So distance is a scalar quantity and hence speed also will be a scalar quantity. So speed is a scalar quantity. Now, there are various types of speed. In our daily life, we come across an object or a body moving sometimes with uniform speed, sometimes with non-uniform speed. And when you are riding a vehicle, then your speedometer will be showing the speed at every instant. So that speedometer will be measuring the instantaneous speed. So there are three types of speed which you have to remember. First one is uniform speed. Now, what is uniform speed? Let us consider a body traveling from A to B. Let us take that the body covers first 2 kilometers in, I will take it as 2 meters in 10 seconds. The body is covering the first 2 meters in 10 seconds. Now, this is I will take it as B. Now from A to B, the distance is 2 meters and time taken is 10 seconds. Again B to C, I will take the distance as 2 meters only. Again the body is taking 10 seconds. Again from C to D, the distance remains the same and the time taken also remains the same. Now, if the body is traveling in this way, then every time you try to calculate the speed. Now speed is distance by time taken. Now between A and B, what is the distance? Distance is 2 meters and 10 seconds. So speed will be equal to here 2 meters by 10 seconds. This will be equal to 1 by 5. 1 by 5 meter per second. 1 by 5 meter per second means 0.2 meter per second. This is the speed of the body. Now, again between B and C you take, what is the distance? Distance is 2 meters, time is 10 seconds. Again 2 by 10, it will be equal to 0.2 meter per second. Now C and D you take, again it will be 2 by 10, that will be equal to 0.2 meter per second. Now here you can observe that the body covers equal distances in equal intervals of time. So equal distances are covered in equal intervals of time, then the body is said to have uniform speed. And in our everyday life, we come across objects sometimes traveling with a uniform speed also. On the other hand, if you take non-uniform speed or variable speed, I'll just draw the schematic diagram. Now A, B, 2 meters, 10 seconds. Next, I will take 3 meters, 10 seconds. Now you can observe, this is D, this is 5 meters, 10 seconds. Now just see what is the speed in every time. Speed here will be 2 by 10. That will be equal to 0.2. In this case, it is 3 by 10. That will be equal to 0.3. Now in this case, the speed will be 5 by 10. That will be equal to 0.5. So you can observe that the speed is not remaining same because the body is covering unequal distances. Time interval can be same, but the body is covering unequal distances. In such cases, the body will not have uniform speed. It will have non-uniform speed or variable speed. Here I am taking different distances. But at the same time, this also can happen that it might be covering 2 meters only, but the time taken might be different. First time it is covering 2 meters in 10 seconds, next time again 2 meters in 13 seconds, next time again 2 meters in 20 seconds. Then also when you calculate speed, what happens? The body will have different speeds at every time. So such type of speed is called non-uniform speed or variable speed. So here uniform speed means what? The body covers equal distances in equal intervals of time. Here what is happening? Unequal distances and equal intervals of time. So this is called non-uniform speed or variable speed. Now as I told you already, whenever we are riding a vehicle, you are driving or riding, then there will be a speedometer in the vehicle. Every instant it will be recording the speed, because when you are driving or riding, then what happens, every time you are changing the speed, it might be due to various reasons. There might be heavy traffic, or some speed breakers are there, or there might be a left turn or right turn you are taking. So due to so many reasons, what we will be doing, we will be riding with different speeds. Then our speedometer will be showing different speeds at every instant. So that is called instantaneous speed. Instantaneous speed means the speed will be changing every moment, or every instant speed changes. So these are the three types of speed. In next session, we shall learn the next common term, that is velocity and acceleration. Thank you.